So guys, finally I come after yesterday. Yesterday was my first day when I did a second part and second chapter of the Elon life and about in his room by his book, the Elon Musk by the Walter Isaacson. This is the actual book you can see here again because I haven't shown up in our last stream. This is my book over. It's like that. Oh, I think I did a post for my thumbnail. Yeah. So today we are just yesterday we have learned about his loneliness and determination. That how the Elon has gone through those like a situation where he being alone too, and he was um so hopeless, and you can consider him in every situation that's very crucial for him. So you can actually see that how the Elon had gone through a very very hard of a situation in his life, and that is also inspiration for me and also for the world, that the world's greatest man and businessman, even you can say, he is a saver of the entire world. He's everything for us. He's always a great billionaire. He's always a great contributor for our entire of humanity welfare. So, yesterday we have learned the adventures. Adventurous is our part of the chapter of, yeah, it's our the part of the first chapter of this book, and now we are learning the mind of his own. The mind of his own. We have a pause and we have done at least halfway to read out the entire book, and now we are choosing the topic, the divorce. Divorce is our the next topic that we will learn and read, and divorce the about his actually Maya and Elon Musk, who is a father and mother of Elon. That how they had the divorce together, and they how they split it out for forever. So this the divorce about Elon Musk father and mother. So it's not about the Elon divorce. So you can see and can have to like you have to listen carefully what I'm saying, and today I'm trying the best and better to read the better than previous my streams that I did read a more time. So let's see how I will read. So let's start the divorce. Well, let me be hydrate. Okay, today's topic is the divorce. The Maya and Erasmus were at the Oktoberfest celebration with three other couples, drinking a beer and having a fun. When a guy at another table whistled at the Maya, called her the sexy. Errol was furious, but not at the guy. The way the Maya remembered it, he lunged and was about to hit her, and her friend had restrained him. She fled to her mother's house. Over time, he had gotten crazier. The Maya later said he would hit me when the kids were around. I remember that Elon, who was a 5, would hit him on the back of his knees to try to stop him. It all calls the accusations absolute rubbish. He claims he adored the Maya, and over the years he tried to win her back. I have never, I have never laid a hand on a woman in my life, and certainly none of my wives. And he says that the one of the woman's weapon is to the cry that the man abused her, to cry and a lie, and man's weapon are the buy and to sign. On the morning after the Oktoberfest altercation, it all came over to the my mother house, apologized, and asked the man to come back, don't you dare to touch her again. Winifred Hadman said, if you do, she's coming to live with me. Mai said that he never hit after, he never, he hit her after that. But his verbal abuse continued. He would tell her that she was boring and stupid and ugly. The marriage never recovered. A year later, they admitted it was his fault. I had a pretty wife, and but there were always prettier younger girls. He said I really loved Mai, but I screwed up. They divorced when Elon was 8. Mai and the children moved to the house on the coast near Durban, about 380 miles south of the Pretoria, Johannesburg area, where she juggled up jobs as a model and dictation. There was a little money. She bought her kids a second-hand books and uniforms on some weekends and a holiday. The boy, but usually not a Tosca, would take the train to see their father in Pretoria. He would send them back without any clothes on her back. I had to buy them new clothes every day, every time. She says he said that I would eventually return to him because I would be a poverty a stricken and wouldn't be able to feed them. Often she would have to travel on a modeling job or give the nutrition lecture, leaving the kids at the home. I never felt guilty about working full time because I didn't have the choice. She says my children have the freedom thought yourself problem. She had to struck a response. You will figure it out. Kimball recalls the mom wasn't a soft and cuddly, but she was always working. But that was a gift for us. Elon developed into the night person, staying up until the dawn, reading the books. When he saw his mother light lights go on at 6 a.m., he would crawl into the bed and fall asleep. That meant that she had trouble getting into him up in a time for the school. And on the nights when she was away, he from the school, it all launched a custody battle and had a suspendence issued for the Elon teacher, my modeling agent, and their neighbors. Right before the going to trial, it all dropped the case. Every few years, he would intimate another court action and then drop it. When Tosca recounted these tales, she began to cry. I remember mom just sitting there and sobbing on the couch. I didn't know what to do. All I could do was to told her. Maya and Errol were each drawn to the dramatic intensity rather than a domestic bliss, a trait they would pass on after her divorce. My began dating another abusive man. The children hated him and would occasionally put a tiny firecracker on his cigarette that would explode when it lit up. Soon after the man proposed the marriage, he got another woman pregnant. She had been a friend of mine. My says we had a model together. What the hell, guys? Um, this chapter has ended. The mind of his own, and like about their father and mother, the Maya and Elon Musk, who like Mai is still the mother of Elon and she is staying with the Elon, but Elon has gone away and is not staying with their family, even not with the Elon. Elon knew him very closely, that how he treated to his mother every time, that how he spitted out the bad words on his on his mother. Every of the critical moment that he saw in his life is very guilty for me. Even I when I have been when while I reading this, I got a goosebumps in my and when the author has a describe about uh, when when another guy on the October, I mean, sorry, what was that? Yeah, October Fest celebration, and even the it all will have to help her at the point when another guy is harassing to the Mai. Even Errol is not a responsible father and responsible husband anymore. That's cause I don't like the Elon Musk when he came up on a BBC interview and he had given an interview to the BBC that about the Elon life in Elon documentary related. So that's all thing that we have learned in this divorce. This divorce is about the Maya and Elon Musk, and you can see the beautiful image of Elon when he had the broken teeth and scars. Can see how he got beaten up. He got on the beaten up. It's very hard. Can see on his face there is a very scars and very few teeth has broke off. So maybe he gone. This is not just a words. This is entire thing. Okay, let's see life with the father. Now we are going to learn the life with the father. Okay, this life with the father means the Elon Musk and his entire family, like the Kimball, Tosca, Elon, the three of the babies who is living with the father, and then how they had the time with their time, and I mean that like everything is just about their father and the children relationship, that how they are actually going to do. Let's see the life with the father. The Pretoria, the 90s, 80s, 90s, 80s, in the 90s, 80s. The move. The first thing is a move. The first topic is from the beginning from the move. The at the age 10, the Musk made a fact the at the age 10, Musk made a fateful decision, one of that he would later regret. He decided to move with his father. He took a dangerous overnight train from the Durban to the Johannesburg on his own. When he spotted his father waiting for him at the station, he began the beaming with a delight like the sun. Hero says, "Hi, Dad, let's get a hamburger." He shouted. That night he crawled into his father's bed and slept there. Why did he decide to move in away with his father? Elon 6 and stays silent for the almost a minute when I asked this. My dad was lonely and so lonely, and I felt that I should keep him a company. He finally says he used the psychological wills on me. He also adored his grandmother, Erol Mother Cora, known as a Nana. She convinced him that it was unfair for that his mother had all three children and his father had none. In some ways, the move was not at all mysterious. Elon was then socially awkward and had no friends. His father was loving, but she was overworked, distracted, and vulnerable. His father, in a contrast, was a swaggering and manly, a big guy with a large hand and a mesmerizing presence. His career had many ups and downs, but at the time he was feeling flush. He owned a gold-color convertible Rolls-Royce Konichi. and more importantly, two seats of the encyclopedia, lots of book, a variety of engineering tools. So Elon's still a small boy, chooses to live with him. It turned out to be a really bad idea. He says I didn't yet know how horrible he was. The 4 years later, Kimball followed. I didn't want to leave my brother alone with the him. Kimball says my dad guilted my brother into the going to live with him, and then he guilted me. Why did he choose to go live with someone who infected, inflicted pain? My Musk asked the 40 years later, why didn't he prefer the happy home? Then she paused for the moment. Maybe that's just who he is. After the boys moved in, they had the Elon build a lodge and that he could train the tourists in the Timbavati Game Reserve, Preston stage of the bush, about 300 miles east of Pretoria. During the construction, they slept around the fire at the night and with the Browning rifles to protect them against alliance. The bricks were made of a river sand, and the roof was a grass. And as an engineer, he don't like studying the properties of the various materials. And he made the floor out of the mica because it was a good thermal insulator. Elephants, in a search of the water, often uprooted to the pipes, and monkeys regularly broke into the pavilions and popped. So there was lots of work of the boys to do. Elon often accompanied a visitor on a hunt, and although he had only a 20 caliber rifle, and it had a good scope, and he became an expert at shoot. He even won the local skate shooting a contest. True, he was too young to accept the price of a case of a whiskey. When Elon was 9, his father took him the Kimball and Tosca the trip America, where they drove from the New York to the Midwest, then down in the Florida. Yeah, Elon became the hookron in a coin-operated video games he found in a motel lobby. It by far the most exciting thing. He said he didn't have that yet in South Africa. The role displayed is a mix of the buoyancy and fragility. He rented a Thunderbird, but they stayed in a budget inns when we got Orlando. My father refused to take us to the Disney World because it was so expensive. Love that. Yeah. The mostly cause that I think we went to the world because it was so expensive. But like this situation relate to the Elon right now because when Bob Iger and Elon Musk clashing, their conflicts are very hitting and very hard them together. Yeah, the mostly cause I think we went to some water park instead. As often a case, the Elon spins a different tale, insisting that they went the boat to the Disney World where the Elon lacked the haunted house ride. His flags over the Georgia. I told them over on a trip, America, where you will come live someday. 2 years later, he took the three children to the Hong Kong. My father had some combination of a ligament, business, hucksterism, mostly cause he left us in a hotel, which was a pretty grungy, and just gave us the $50 or something. We didn't see him for the 2 days. They watched the samurai movies, cartoon on the hotel TV, leaving the Tosca and Elon and wander at the street, going into electronic store where they could play the video games for the free. Nowadays, someone would call the child protection service if a someone did what our dad did. Must says, but for us back in the then, it was a wondrous experience. So let's begin a next thing and next topic. The cons. So the confederacy of the cousins. Okay, this was like we have a learn, and we did learn about that how the Elon and his brother and sister went to the Elon Musk for the building and helping him his father. And the Elon Musk mother says that the mother had three children, but father had none of, because the entire situation has a upside down. So and this is really great. I'm like experiencing the real moment, what I'm imagining about the Elon life. So let's continue. The Confederacy of Cousins. Okay. After the Elon and Kimball moved in with their father in a suburban Pretoria, Mai moved to the nearby Johannesburg, so many family could be closer together. On a Friday, she would drive to the Errol house to pick up the boys. They would then go to see their grandmother, then indomitable Winifred Hadman is the mother of my Musk, and who cooked a chicken stew. The kids hated so much that Mai would take them out of a pizza afterward. Ilona and Kimball usually spent all the night at the house next door to their grandmother, where my sister Kai Rive and her three boys lived. The five cousins, Ilona Kimball and Peter and Landon and Russell, became an adventure. Occasionally the continuous behavior of the bugs. Mai was more indulgent and less protective than her sister. They would conspire with her the plotting and adventure. If we wanted to do something like to a concert in a Johannesburg, she would say, her sister, I'm going to take to them in a church camp this evening, says Kimball. Then she would drop off. We would go do our the mischief. Okay. Those trips could be dangerous. I remember was once when the train stopped and there was an immense fight, and we watched the guy get stabbed through the head. Says Peter Eve, we were hiding inside the car, and then the doors closed, and we were moving on. Sometimes the gang would board the train, hunt down the rivers, repanging through the cars, shooting the machine guns. Some of the concerts were anti-apartheid protests, such as the one in 1985 John Mac that drew the 1 lakh people. Often the brawls would break out. We didn't try to hide from the violence; we became a survival of it. Says Kimball, it taught us to the not be afraid, but also not to the crazy things. Elon developed the reputation for being the most fearless. When the cousins went to the movie, the people were making a noise. He would be on a one to the go over and tell them be in the quiet, even if they were much bigger. It's big them for him to the never have his decision guided by fear. Peter recalls that was definitely present even when he was a child. He was also the comparative of the cousins. One of the one of time when they were riding their bicycle from the Pretoria, Johannesburg. Elon was way out of the front of the pedaling fast, so other pulled over and hitched the ride and picked up the truck. When Elon rejoined them, he was angry. He started hitting them. It was a race. He said they had cheated. Such a fight at the cop. Fight were the common. Often they would happen in a public. The boys obvious to their surroundings. One of the many of the Elon and Kimball had was at the country fair. They were wrestling and punching each other in the dust. Peter recalls people were freaking out and had to say the crowd, "This is not a big deal. These guys are the brother." Although the fights were usually over the small things and they could get a vicious, the vicious. The way to the win was to be the first person to punch a kick at the other guy to the balls. Are you serious? Other boys to the balls. Okay. Kimball says that was the end of the entire fight. You can't continue if you get a crunch into the ball. Okay. We'd have over the reef and the sea. Yeah, confederacy of his cousins. Like when the mic come down every time to the Errol house to the pick up his children, the Mai, Tosca, and Kimball, and brought them to the his her the sister house to the play with their cousin, and their cousin is so Michelle. And also Elon is not mishap so much, but here I also describe that Elon was fearless. He is still fearless. You can see every statement he passing on a public, he never think before to what it would be to passing off after the passing off. He don't think that what is outcome would be. He think that only pushing the things forward it's the great way to accomplish the result. He knows that result would be whatever, like a false, a truth, and whatever would be. The worst would be or a good would be. The either of the situation there would be, but doesn't matter. He only thinks that pushing things forward means you can do and you can achieve the whatever you want. This is the fearless entire quality of Elon. It describes the mentality that how he had right now. And this paragraph and this like a little topic about Elon cousin and her and him and his entire life when he was a children. And now we are going to see the student. Okay, see the student here. How he bring with his student. Okay, let's see. The student. Musk was a good student, but not a superstar. Yeah, that is. When he was a 9 and 10, he got us in English and the math, and he's a quick to the grasp a new mathematical concept. Sorry, his teacher noted, but there was a constant refrain in the report card comments. He walks extremely slowly, either because he dreams or he's doing what he should not. He seldom finishes anything new. Next year, uh, he must concentrate on his work and not a daydream during the class. A conversation, yeah, a composition showed a lively imagination, but he doesn't always finish in a time. His average grade before he got a high school was 83 out of the 100. After he was bullied and beaten in a public high school, his father moved him to private academy, Pretoria Boys High School, based on an English model, and it featured the strict rule and canning, compulsory chapel, and uniforms. There he got excellent grades in all about the two subjects. An African, he got a 61 out of 100 is the final year, and a religious instruction not extending the himself. The teacher noted I wasn't really going to put lots of the effort into things I thought were the meaningless. He says I would rather be a reading as a playing video games. He got in the physics part of the senior certificate exams, but somewhat surprisingly only be in the math part. In his spare time, he liked a small rocket experiment with a different mixture. such as the swimming pool and chlorine and a brake fluid, to see the what would make the biggest bang. He also learned the magic trick how to hypnotize people once in convincing Tosca she was a dog. She was a dog and getting her eat a raw bacon. What the hell? As they would later do in America, cousins, they pursued various entrepreneurial ideas. One Easter, they made the chocolate egg, wrapped them into the foil, and sold them the door-to-door Campbell. Came up with an ingenious scheme instead of selling them cheaper than the Easter eggs. At the store, they made them more expensive. Some people would back at the price. He says, we told them you are actually supporting the future capitalist. Reading the Riemann, a psychological retreat, sometimes he would immerse himself in a book all the afternoon or the most of the night, 9 hours at a stretch. When the family went to someone's house, he would disappear into their host library. When they went into the town, he would wander off. Later be found the bookstore sitting on the floor in his own world. He was also deeply into the comics, and the single-minded passion of the superhero impressed him. They are always trying to save the world with their underpants. On the outside, their skin tight, their iron suits, which is really pretty strange when you think about it. He says, but they are trying to save the world. Must read the both sides of the father encyclopedia and became to his doing the mother and sister genius boy. To other kids, however, he was an annoying and nuts. Look at the moon, it must be a million miles away. Cousin once exclaimed, replied Elon, no, it's like a one, like it's almost 13900 the miles, depending on the orbit. And one book that he found in his father's office described the great invention he would be made in the future. I would come back from the school, go inside in the room in the father's office. I read it over and over. He says among the ideas was a rocket propelled by the iron thruster, which would use the particles rather than the gas and for the thrust. Okay. Late one night, a control rooms of his rocket base in South Texas. I described the book at the length to me, including how iron thrusters would work in a vacuum. That book is the what first made me think about the going other planets, he said. What a beautiful. And there is a image of Elon with his cousin Bruce Levy and Elon and Kimball Peter Levy. Let me show you. Let me show you. Let me show you. Can see there. As you can see, here is a you can clearly see. Here is a Bruce and here is a Kimball. Here is a Peter and here is Elon. Elon were very slightly not heighted, but he is really great. And we are on the third chapter of this book. And now we had over, and that was a beautiful describe about his life. That how he when he was a student at the school, that how we learned the things and how he liked a subject anymore. Like he can catch up the every mathematical concept very perfectly than any of the subject, and he also good in science, physics, and mathematics, and economics. And he also got the 61 out of the 100 marks in Afrikaans language, which is a religious language. It doesn't matter. But even he got the 84% of the in mathematics. So when and then after he moved in another school, which is a very um, convenient, a very like convent and very quality that school has. So love this book and I hope you all have understood what I'm reading, and also I described many things here. Thanks for the reading and thanks for the watching me here. I hope you have a this good day. This is enough today because I'm learning every day this book. I would be finish this book until this the day until this year end. Don't worry, I will be finished by doing the stream here. So bye guys. I hope I will literally meet you later. We will learn the next topic about he's a seeker. The seeker. The seeker means the pathfinder